What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So Ril Mosa aka Nexilla doing reps on the leg press, where his quads look like they're about to explode. That is most probably gonna be the most freakiest thing you guys will see today, especially in reference to bodybuilding. I think we all have to agree that guy is an absolute mass monster and a freak of nature. And what's unbelievable is that some of the bodybuilding legends, like Kevin Levroni and Dexter Jackson, guys who saw him in person when he was about to make his pro debut in Prague last year, they said that no picture or video can do him any justice, especially to what he looks like in person. So if the man is looking like that in the video, just imagine how freaky he would be looking in person. So should the competition at this upcoming Dubai Pro worry about Rubiel? Well, I have to say anytime there is such a mass monster on the scene, he's always gonna be threatening to the competition. Just look at Marcus Rule. Now he never won a big show like the Arnold or the Olympia, but he has placed as high as top 5 at the Olympia level. And that too in the era of Ronnie Coleman and Jay Cutler, when everyone out there just knew that the top 2 spots were always locked in. So placing top 5 in that kind of lineup, that was a huge accomplishment. So what's so special about Rubiel? It's the fact that he has that body, he has that mass, that freakiness, that thickness, at the age of only 28. So the man has got a big future ahead of him, and possibly a very successful one. And with time on his side, he is definitely gonna be a force to be reckoned with in the future. So we are most probably gonna see more cap delts and more 3D delts from him in the future, and possibly more separation in his quads as well. And he is gonna be so much more dangerous then. And even right now at this point, he looks extremely impressive going into the weight pro. The width of his waist. People say that he has a wide waist, but fact of the matter is, the width of his waist is directly linked to the circumference of his quads. So a guy like Rubiel, who has a massive quad sweep, I mean he probably has one of the biggest set of wheels that we have ever seen in the history of the sport. So because of that, his waistline isn't gonna look that much wider on the stage, because it is all about creating that illusion, creating that V-taper. And with a guy like Chris Cormier in his corner, his presentation and his posing is gonna be absolutely spot on, because we all know Chris Cormier has been a master of posing. So he is gonna help him really well in hiding those weak points. So what are your predictions about this upcoming Dubai Pro at this point? Can Rubiel win this show? Can he beat the likes of Nathan Diesha, Baros Saani, and William Barnack? So talking about Dubai Pro, you have got to love Baros Saani for his love for the fans and for the sport of bodybuilding. He is never shy about taking off his shirt and showing off his hard work. So here is Behrooz at less than 3 weeks out of this year's Dubai Pro. So this is gonna be Behrooz' 3rd show of the year, and this is his 4th year working with Milos Sarcev. And so far as a team they have done a superb job. So there is a discussion out there going on that can he finish top 10 at this upcoming Miss Olympia, which is gonna be his Olympia debut if he's allowed to travel to the US and compete at the biggest bodybuilding stage in the world. So his consistency when it comes to getting shredded and getting peeled out of his mind for every single show, that is second to none. That is truly unmatched. The only other guy that comes to mind is his fellow countryman, the Persian wolf, Hadi Choopan. Because very few guys in the bodybuilding world right now, especially in the open class, have this ability to get peeled show after show. And that is not to question a certain athlete's dedication to the process. We all know it's also determined by genetics. The kind of striations that Baros Saani and Hadi Choopan have, we do not see that very often. So Baros Saani trains twice per day, especially during the contest prep, and he gets shredded doing minimal cardio. So is the Dubai Pro gonna be the most important competition of his professional career so far? At this point you can definitely say that. When he competed against guys like Samson Dauda in Romania last year, even before the show people had already made up their minds that Samson Dauda is gonna win that show. And that was rightly so, because Samson is the 3rd best bodybuilder in the world right now. He is one of the biggest names in the men's open right now, and he has plenty of muscle over Baros Saani. But here in Dubai, Baros can certainly make a big statement by beating 2 former Olympians, Nathan and William Barnack. And at this point that seems very realistic that he can definitely accomplish that. And if he can also beat a mass monster like Rubiel Mosa, he is definitely gonna be in all the predictions in the top 10 for this upcoming Miss Olympia. Did Oxygen Gym Kuwait and the Camel crew just convinced one of the biggest names in classic physique, and one of the biggest names in bodybuilding for that matter, Ors Kalecinski, to come and train there for this year's Miss Olympia prep? So Ors just posted this on his Instagram story while he's hopping on a flight. So this is gonna be a fun Olympia prep. So more content is most probably gonna generate with all these guys there at the Oxygen Gym in Kuwait, especially when so many big names are training together. So is this the big move that Kalecinski needed to finally beat a guy like Ramondino and maybe challenge the reigning champion Chris Bumstead for Miss Olympia title? Well, the thing is, until the fans see that actually happen, it looks really difficult. Especially after what happened at this year's Arnold. People have kinda lost their faith in Kalecinski that he can ever be an Olympia title contender again. Because the thing is, Ramon was able to beat him with only a 6 weeks of prep. That wasn't the best of Ramon, but still he was able to beat him very convincingly. Plus he also got beat by Brian Ansley after 2 years. And we have to keep in mind, Urs was arguably in the best shape of his life at this past Arnold UK, but still that wasn't enough to beat a guy like Brian. Plus we have to keep in mind the X Factor and the wild card at this year's Miss Olympia, the reigning Arnold Classic champion, Fazi, because he was able to beat Urs in both these shows very comfortably. So some of the judges said that the reason Urs lost at this year's Arnold Classic is because he wasn't on. Well, I kinda do agree with that statement for the Arnold Classic in Columbus, but I think he was absolutely peeled at the Arnold UK, because the physique that he presented at that show, that was the biggest and the fuller version of Urs to date. So it is the reality that the judges want to see Urs match these guys, especially from the back. So let's see how much improvements can Urs make, especially in his back department, while training at the Oxygen Gym in Kuwait. And do let me know what you guys think. Can Urs finally beat a guy like Ramondino? Because the only time that happened in the past, that was at the Olympia 2021, when both these guys made their Olympia debuts. So Iain Valliere retired from competitive bodybuilding at a perfect time. He won a total of 6 pro shows, placed as high as runner-up at the Arnold, and 7th at the Olympia level. But the way the competition was getting very high in the last few years, it was getting better and better with every passing year. Iain would not have been able to place 7th again at the Olympia level, especially in this kind of lineup that we are seeing right now for this year. And that isn't me hating on Iain. I think we can all agree that the guys in the top 7 this year, they are such big names of the industry, and they will all have better structure and better flow than Iain. So it could have been really tough for Iain. So the Texas Pro 2021, where he was able to beat a very good version of Steve Kuglo, that was easily the best look of his entire career. And the last show that he did, that was Toronto Pro, and he actually won that show against Hassan Mustafa, and that was last year. That was one of the best versions of Hassan Mustafa, and Iain was still able to beat him, although that was a controversial decision. But at the end of the day, Iain was the one who won that show. But his look at Toronto Pro, that wasn't as good as Texas 2021. But you have got to give credit to Iain for making such a big decision and moving out of the sport while keeping his health intact, while he was 100% healthy. Because most of these guys keep on competing until they get worse and worse or they face a health issue. So I don't think Iain had any major injury during his competitive career. And even right now after retirement, he looks so good. No idea how this man can still be so strong, especially after he has been off of all sorts of gear for almost a year now. He's still able to push some serious weights in the gym. So is Iain the guy who has the most number of pro wins from Canada? So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.